just said that you were in communication with her.
Liz, sit down. Jesus
Did he
Christ.
not just...
Me no speak English.
What the...
You know what? Let me have my ring back.
Oh.
You just give up and walk away?
Dude, you do not talk to women like that.
Why do you keep coming back? Performer.
Yeah.
Bye. So shut the
What I'm about to say.
Go ahead, say. Pussy.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're getting into part 2 of the Single Life Tell-All. Okay, so they pick up right where they left off, where Rose has said that Big Ed has been in contact with her recently within the last few months. She also said that he's tried to FaceTime her multiple times and shows a screenshot of him asking to go to the Philippines.
He says, I want to come to the Philippines again to see you if you're open.
So I was curious about the timeline and when this exactly was filmed, because Rose says that he contacted her within the last couple months, but then she shows a screenshot from August of 21. So I'm like, why would you show one from that long ago? And my best calculations is probably sometime in September. Maybe like end of August, September, they filmed this, because like, one, they're in New York and you see like a lot of them aren't like all bundled up, so it's not really cold yet. And two, Libby is like super pregnant. She said she has about a month to go, and we know she had her baby, I think it was October 4th according to Instagram. That's the best timeline. So I just don't understand why she didn't show screenshots of something more recent of him contacting her. Not that I don't believe her, but I guess maybe he could have done it over like Snapchat or something, to where she didn't feel comfortable taking a screenshot. But yeah, that was the one thing I was curious about. Okay, so when Ed was originally questioned by Sean about contacting Rose, he said no, he hadn't. And then he backtracked and he's like, well, I don't remember. But clearly he has contacted her, and according to Rose, multiple times. So, and I'm going to believe Rose over Ed any day. And plus the screenshot is there, whether the timeline is weird, whether they were broken up or not. Him and Liz, it's very possible that they were, because they've broken up so much. The fact is he lied, and he immediately gets defensive and just gives this really weird, just shitty answer to Liz, and it creeps me out.
Did you or did you not just say, I have not spoken to her?
We no speak English.
I just do not understand this response at all, except for him just trying to be a shithead. It's really like textbook gaslighting, in my opinion, what he's doing to Liz right here. And he even at one point, he's like, guys, this is just Liz. This is how she acts. And they're like, because you just lied to her.
Because this is her. This is who Liz is.
The only thing I can think of as to why he would say that is like trying to say that she's overreacting, because there was nothing technically bad about that text. Even though if you're asking to go see your ex-girlfriend, that's not great. But that's really not the point, is that they asked multiple times and he was like, no. And then he's like, well, I don't remember if I had. And Sean even points out to Ed how he can rattle off anything Liz has done and done to him that isn't good. But when she asked him a simple question, have you contacted Rose? He said he couldn't remember.
Tired of all the lies and deflection and projection.
And Sean asked Rose if she thinks that Ed still wants a relationship with her.
She's saying he's interested, but he's in a relationship right now.
You fucked up.
So obviously that seems to hit Liz pretty hard.
I don't think I have any more respect.
So then Ed, I guess trying to be a big man, is like, okay, give me the ring back.
Oh, wow.
You're a dick.
You're a dick, yo. I'm just gonna say it.
I love that Kim just says exactly what we're all thinking. And then Big Ed is just sitting there, looking up to the heavens with his watery eyes and his little frown mouth. And I don't feel sorry for him at all. He's just a dick. And I just don't like him. I'm sorry. He sucks.
You suck. You suck.
So they all decide to take a break, and of course Ed is complaining that Liz is turning herself into the victim, he says.
It's frustrating for Liz to sit there and play the victim, which she's not. I just felt that she turned everything around.
And he even starts trying to complain to Jenny because Jenny's probably the nicest person there. And Jenny's like, no.
I'll take the ring. It probably wasn't appropriate, but
No, not at all.
Also, part of me does want to get mad at Liz for continuously going back to him. So she's just giving him a bigger and bigger head and making him think that he's more important than he actually is. And it's really starting to piss me off.
Nobody likes you.
today it just showed me, look, you don't support me.
Behold Project Gaslight.
Meanwhile, all of that was going on. Angela is still outside and people are trying to convince her to come back inside.
I feel like I'm your mom. I'm like, don't get it out your clothes. Hey, water.
I can understand not liking the taste of water. I've met a lot of people who aren't water people. Water isn't my favorite beverage either, personally. But I don't have to spit it out. That's just crazy to me that you hate water so much you have to spit it out.
Water sucks. Gatorade is better. What?
So Angela does come back inside and Kim decides to go and talk to her and they have a pretty civil conversation. I give Kim a lot of props because Angela came out crazy. So it took some balls, I feel like, for Kimberly to be like, hey, I'm good. And that's what she told her. She's like, I'm good. You don't have to worry about me. And Angela said she hopes that Usman isn't scamming her or isn't using her, but that's what she thinks. And it was a very civil conversation. It was good to hear. So they all go back on stage, including Angela, and she kind of apologizes. Kinda.
Obviously, I was wrong. I got too much of my to worry about.
That wasn't like a real apology, but I think that's the most we're ever going to get out of Angela.
Cleveland, just be happy with what you have.
So they show the clip of Angela telling us about Micheal cheating and listening to the voicemail message. And everyone is pretty shocked, especially hearing the message. And even Usman is like, what the hell, bro?
I love you. Can you believe he said that to this girl? That's how you talk to me.
Usman starts saying that he now sees why Angela did not want him on Instagram. And Micheal didn't really give him that information when they talked in person about it. Micheal does seem pretty affected by the clip of Angela crying, saying that he broke her heart.
My heart, like he really broke my heart,
I do feel for Angela because what Micheal did was wrong, and I do think she is really heartbroken over it, but that doesn't make everything else she has done up until this point right. After watching the clips, Angela starts crying again, of course, and Micheal keeps saying, Angie, it's okay, Angie, and Kim and Usman are both like, this isn't okay, you shouldn't say this is okay, and they're not wrong, but I think he's just trying to calm her down, that's all.
Whether he has sex or not, you told another woman you love him.
And then Sean asked Micheal if the woman he left the message for was an American.
Yes, she's American.
Not good. That is not good.
So Micheal is saying that she was a fan, she messaged him, and that he didn't like being rude, he didn't like not answering, and that's a cop-out, that's not true. He wanted to answer. So that's kind of fucked up of him to say, but he is admitting that he's wrong and that he took it too far.
I
don't think that's true.
You ain't gotta leave me, because I'm getting ready to leave you, Micheal.
And Kim gets a little sassy with Micheal as well.
Micheal, you can suck your teeth all you want to. You're wrong. Like a little bitch.
And despite the cheating, Angela does say that she is still currently with Micheal. And then they bring out her friend Renee, who's the one who went with her to Nigeria. And she says she's not surprised that Angela decided to stay with Micheal because of the fact that it was just an online relationship. It wasn't a physical relationship. And she also says that she feels that she protects Micheal and he doesn't appreciate how much she does do that. Though I don't really get that unless there's something else big that we don't know. But to me, it doesn't feel like she's been protecting Micheal all these years. It feels like she's been like waiting for him to fuck up. And then they say how there was a blogger who posted that Michael actually has his Instagram back up. And of course, Angela starts to lose it. At first she says, no, he didn't. And Michael is continuously saying, no, 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 it's not me. And I don't know if in real time that was him or not. I'm assuming at some point someone has confirmed it or not. I'm assuming in the show they will, but I don't know. And I'm probably not going to look it up. And then Angela talks about how he's been sending money to someplace else. We're assuming to this girl in America. But Michael is saying no, that he hasn't. And that's basically all we know. We haven't really confirmed whether or not he has or not. And then Angela brings out her secret weapon, the man she was bringing, which turns out to just be Michael's uncle, Stephen. And I really don't understand why this man was her secret weapon. All he did was kind of make him feel bad for what he did. He didn't really expose anything on Michael. And while he's there, they show the clip of when Angela showed up in Nigeria at Michael's house and just was destroying everything and Michael flipping out. And it really upset me how some of the people reacted.
Your ass up.
You know, just stop it.
Without telling me.
I mean, Angela says she doesn't regret any of her actions because she ended up being right.
Angela, do you regret any of your actions?
Nope.
Oh, there's a big surprise. That's an incredible. I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise.
And this is where I get upset with people because she says the first thing he said was, you show up here unannounced to my home. She's like, I'm your wife. I should be able to show up at any time.
I like to call you. I was going to surprise you.
Yeah. She can make a surprise visit anytime.
She's acting like she went there with the intention of just surprising him, like a nice visit.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Literally, on their way, her and her friend Renee were like, oh, you should bring your marriage license because everything you own is mine too. So that means she has the right to destroy it, which is exactly what she did and what she was planning to do the whole time. It wasn't some nice surprise visit. So Sean asks if maybe Angela's treatment of Michael over the years is what caused him to maybe go seek comfort elsewhere, and pretty much everyone said no. Yara is the only one who speaks up though.
It's really like bully to him. She was not nice to him for a long time.
She says what Michael did was wrong, very wrong, but she also was bullying him. Of course, Angela's friend feels the need to defend her.
He knew what he was getting into, so you can't say that she was bullying him.
And then Bilal said that she was a bit excessive.
What Angela did was a bit excessive as well, too, when it comes to...
I didn't say one.
It just really upsets me because, say it was reversed and Michael did this to Angela, it'd be totally different reaction from them. The fact that a woman did this to a man, it's not as big of a deal. And that really upsets me because what she did was wrong. And just because the fact that he did something wrong also does not cancel out what she did and what she has done to him for years at this point. Then she talks about how he actually invited that girl over to Nigeria for Valentine's Day and not her. And he's denying it. But then at one point he's like, well, she didn't come and I didn't send the money. So he did do it and he was lying again. So Angela ends up getting really upset and crying and walks off stage. She does say she's still with him, but she's on the verge of divorce. She doesn't know what to do. And Michael says he's going to stick with her because she has shown him true love. So, I guess we're probably going to see more of Angela and Michael, I suppose. I will agree, though, that was real fucked up of him to invite the side chick over to Nigeria and not his wife. That was messed up, and he lied about it and he got caught. So, Michael, I can't defend you on any of your actions, but I can't agree with Angela's either. So at this point, I think you both just need to cut your ties and just go off and, maybe get normal jobs and stop being on reality TV shows. Okay, so I'm in the middle of editing this and my computer lags a little bit sometimes. So I was scrolling while I was waiting for it to do its thing. And I just figured out Sean is older than Angela. Sean is 60 years old, guys. Like, oh my gosh. I was gushing about how pretty she looked in the last video, but now, like, look at her. Like, there is not one, like, wrinkle on her body. Like, oh my God. Up next is Libby and Andre, and I hope you guys don't mind, but I'm gonna kind of speed through their segment because I sort of hate them. I mean, I don't hate them. I just don't particularly like them. And I think Andre is super annoying. I think Libby is selfish and also annoying. And the rest of her family is just spoiled brats. So I don't really find them particularly interesting to talk about. But I will kind of give you the highlights and a few things here and there in case you are interested. Okay, so they talk about Libby's new singing career, which really hasn't taken off. And in fact, she got a lot of backlash when she posted that video online. And I think she has a really good voice, and she does sing for us here. Mary had a little lamb. I do think she has a good voice, but that video that she posted online was super cringy. She was making weird faces. She was obviously lip singing to the video. It was her voice, but she was lip singing. And it was just, that was cringy as hell. So they bring out Charlie and Becky, who is Libby's brother and sister. The biggest problem this season has been with her brother Charlie. Well, he's generally the biggest problem. He's always the one to start shit. Well, him and Andre both. They're both the ones to start shit. But right now their thing has been that he's an alcoholic. I can't necessarily deny that. I don't know. I don't think he's drank any more than the rest of them. But he was the one to get drunk and start shit at their second wedding, so that wasn't great. But they showed some clips of their fights from the season, though I thought it was funny. They showed the clip of Charlie and his wife talking about how he's like, I have to be perfect, but everyone else can do their own thing. I thought it was funny that they decided to show that clip and not the clip of them saying that she sells feet pictures online now. I thought that was interesting. No shame, but just, it was pretty funny.
Feet. Mm-hmm.
Andre, of course, loves to point the finger at Libby's family, saying that they're the problem. Him and Libby are perfect. They have no issues, especially him. He has no issues, and Jovi's kind of calling him out on that.
Until you change the way you're handling the situation with all of them, nothing's going to get better. And I don't think you want to change.
Well, he doesn't understand. It's not about him changing who he is. It's about his reactions. He doesn't have to go 100 every time someone says something that he disagrees with. And usually it's against him. But he can't take any form of criticism either.
I am perfect.
Just trash. Bro, okay. Bro.
Okay, so the other big thing that happened with them this season is Andre got called in for another interview involving his green card, which is very unusual for a couple that's been together this long and has a child together, and another one on the way. The lawyer said there is a possibility that someone could have called in and complained and said that their marriage is fraud. So, of course, they are suspecting Charlie. They're not really saying it, but they're like, someone in Libby's family, which I imagine they're all thinking Charlie, but not saying Charlie. But then Charlie says this.
Because if you're an ass that fights with all the family members, like, yeah, somebody might stitch on you.
So they even actually bring Andre's lawyer to talk about this. And at one point she says, I want anyone to know that that is perjury if you called and said that this marriage was fake, and it's not. And if you watch Charlie, he's getting real shifty, and he's kind of looking around. And I don't know, like, it could just be him. That could be him. But I think his body language is kind of saying that he may have done it. Like, I think he may have got drunk one night and was like, you know what? Take this, Andre. But Libby says, like, if he gets deported, she will go with him back to Moldova. You know, that's it. That she's going to raise her family together. So, I mean, if Charlie did do that, his plan would backfire. I will say Libby's sister Becky is totally convinced that no one in her family would do that. No one is that petty and they wouldn't want to hurt Libby. When they go backstage, there is a nice moment between Andre and Becky where they both express that they want to get better at communication, and Becky says she doesn't want to lose Andre and Libby, and then they even have a hug, and it was nice. So maybe there is hope for them after all. Okay, so that is the end of day 1 of their tell-all. So they all get kind of carpool together and go back to the hotel, and Liz drops some information.
I mean, we just looked at our wedding venue last week and set our wedding date.
The last message I saw with the timestamp was the day before he proposed to me.
Oh my God. That one.
And then Andre and Angela ride together, and I don't know, I just immediately got the image of the House of Mouse, the House of Villains situation. I don't know why, that just made me think of that.
Get have a drink. Elizabeth, teach your heart out. He's with me, Mom.
Okay, so they're back at the hotel and they all decide to have like a little get together to chill out and relax from the day, and Ed decides to go up to Liz.
I'm sorry. Maybe I was beaten.
I think there's an upstairs.
So they go upstairs to have a talk.
I was drowning, and I felt like you were stepping on my head.
He's telling her that whether he was right or wrong, she should have had his back, which is totally fucked up in my opinion.
Liz, I want you to take accountability for yourself. You have to.
Yet he takes no accountability for what he did, and he's like, well, I just forgot. You can't be mad at me for forgetting. You didn't forget. You lied. You clearly lied.
And you started to perform.
I'm performing?
You were performing. You're acting like a little attorney.
Thanks for your apology.
If you ever didn't care for the word performing, you're definitely gonna hate it after this, because he will not shut up about saying that she's performing. And then Liz goes downstairs to tell everyone what he said, and I'm pretty sure Yara is all of us at this point.
I can't hear anymore about Big Egg because he's pissing me off and him because he's up.
And then Andre says the only good thing he's said all night.
Jude, what'd you think about the whole thing over there, like of small lead and all that?
Honestly,
when I was originally watching this episode, when I heard that, I just died. I don't know why. It just cracked me up. But Jovi and Andre are both talking about how neither one of them like Big Ed anymore, or didn't really like him much to begin with, but they especially don't now. They don't approve of the way that he talks to Liz. They both say that they wouldn't talk to their wives that way. And Liz ends up coming in and she's getting a drink and they're like, oh, we were talking about you. And while Liz is talking, Big Ed ends up coming in conveniently, right? But he ends up coming in and she's saying, like, I don't know. They're like, well, you gave the ring back. She's like, well, I didn't know how not to. He asked for it back. And then Big Ed starts this.
You just give up and walk away? Don't be such a pussy.
Big Ed is just wanting to fight with everyone today, apparently.
Let me at him! Let me at him!
Today was about you performing to make me look bad.
I wonder if every time Liz expresses herself, if he thinks it's fake, her emotions. Because that's what I'm hearing. Anytime she like says something about how she feels, he's like, you're performing. You're performing.
Bitch, you make me carry your luggage to the airport.
Performer.
Also, I 100% believe that he does that because if you remember the photography episode at the very end, she's like, I'm not carrying that back. And he's like, I'm not carrying it. I can't carry it. And so she does. So yeah, he makes her carry all of his stuff.
You don't know my situation.
I'm not shooting my mouth up.
So shut the up.
Listen, I'm not condoning violence here. I'm just saying that if Andre and Jovi accidentally tripped and accidentally pummeled him to the ground, I don't think anyone would be too upset. Okay, so Liz goes back with the girls and she's crying and upset, and Angela is comforting her, and it's kind of nice to see Angela being comforting to someone else.
Are you kidding me?
Do you know how hard it is?
So Angela decides to go looking for Ed. Meanwhile, Ed is still starting shit with Jovi and Andre.
Say, pussy, you're gonna go to a strip club with him and you're married. Talk about that for a minute.
Okay, so everyone keeps talking about Jovi going to the strip club. Yara has not come out and said that she doesn't want him to ever go to a strip club again. At least not that I remember. Maybe she has. But I know she was pissed when he brought her there, which she agreed to go. It was just under the condition, if I want to leave, let's go. And then he didn't. And that was the fucked up part. But if Yara is okay with him going with some of his boys occasionally to the strip club every now and then that's their business, and everyone else kind of, in my opinion, needs to shut up about it. But if Yara isn't okay with it, then I think it's kind of messed up.
Excuse me.
Hey, I'm not a fan of Angela, but maybe she can use her powers for good instead of evil and teach Ed a lesson. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys. I will be back next week with part 3 of the tell-all, so look out for it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.